My favorite boss character in the King of Fighters video games has got to be Original Zero from the 2001 video game. What really got me into learning about this character is his unique moveset, which differs from other characters. When they released King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, he underwent a few changes. This video is going to cover how he differs in both versions. His moveset appears to look the same, but there are some big changes between the two games. First, let's look at his stage. This is the original version in 2001. There's supposed to be a sun somewhere in the background, but it's not visible. As you can see, the clouds and sky have a yellow or orange color to them. There's a red section in the floor that's animated. In the updated version, visually, it looks like a big improvement. The sun is more visible in the background, with clouds moving along. There is a light source that you can see, and a red stream animating all across the ground, with blinking red lights on the wall structures in the back. There's also some new statues that have been added, which fills in the empty spaces. They also changed the music to the stage. It sounds like something you would hear from an orchestra or in some play at a theater. It's so different and does not really capture the presence of this character. The visuals in the 2002 Unlimited Match game are amazing. They're great. But for the music, I prefer the one in the 2001 video game. It just sounds better for a boss character. Now let's compare how his voice changed between the two games. In 2001, Zero had a deeper, more rough sound to his voice. Here's what it sounds like. In the 2002 Unlimited Match game, the voice actor seems to have changed. His voice is now softer, it's not as aggressive, it seems kind of tame and too gentle for a boss character.
Ha! Ha! Bakame! Bakame! Amai wa! Amai wa! Hu! Ha! Hu! Bakame! Amai wa! Amai wa!
I gotta say, the stage music and voice actor sounded better in 2001, but the visual changes in the 2002 Unlimited Match look a lot better. So now on to the character changes. In the 2001 game, here's what his normal attacks looked like. Since he was a boss character, they never gave him a crouching animation, so holding down still makes him appear to stand, but holding down and pushing a button will show him doing only one low kick attack, and this animation is shared by 3 buttons. In the updated 2002 Unlimited Match game, his standing and jumping normals remained the same, so there was not much change there. They functioned like it was in the previous game from 2001. He was then given a new crouching animation along with other low-hitting attacks. These were new additions to the character, so from this position, he had other options. In both versions, his standing and crouching weak kick, which should be the B button, has an animation that looks like it reaches pretty far. It still does hit further than most characters, but the hitbox is not from the tip of the sprite. You still need to be somewhat closer than it looks. In the updated 2002 Unlimited Match game, his crouching fierce punch with the C button has enough hits done to cancel into special attacks. In the 2001 version, he only has the standing fierce punch. It can also be cancelled into his overhead attack, which leads to other options, but it tends to push the enemy away a bit further. Let's go back to the version in 2001. The input for his overhead attack was a little strange here. It shared almost similar inputs to calling in the striker Chrysalid, Because the inputs for both moves are almost similar, you would sometimes do the wrong attack by accident. The way to get around this was hit the A button, then, if you are fast enough, hit forward, and the overhead comes out. It was not something you could use too often, because the wrong move might come out. This was later simplified in 2002 Unlimited Match, where the inputs for strikers were changed, and the overhead was corrected to a more lenient input of forward plus A button. There was no need to push A then forward like before, so now it was a lot easier. In 2001, he fought alone, but had 3 strikers he could summon anytime and as often as he wanted. You have Chrysalid by pushing forward plus A. He seems to always stop at Zero's location, then unleashes a spinning kick which leaves behind a small gust of wind that hits more than once. It also launches the enemy into the air that can lead to juggles with special attacks or super moves. The inputs for this were changed in the 2002 Unlimited Match version. It was now down, back, plus A button, or weak punch. They also made all strikers have faster animations in this game. Chrysalid still launched the enemy into the air, and you had enough time to juggle afterwards. If you push forward plus B, or weak kick, you summon Glugan, a dark lion that tracks the opponent's location if they are on the ground. Zero can be anywhere on the stage, and Glugan will track the enemy and hit them, unless if they're in the air, which can still hit them, but it's much harder to get that to connect. This hit will also launch the enemy into the air, which allows Zero to do extra damage with some juggles. The input for this was changed in the 2002 Unlimited Match game. It was now down, back, and B button, which is weak kick. Not only is it a bit faster, but they removed the ability for it to track the opponent's location. So now, it would always attack near Zero's current location, so it had to be used much closer than before. It still launches the target into the air, but the timing to juggle was made a bit more strict. The last striker is Ron. In the 2001 game, the inputs were forward plus C button, or fierce punch. He mostly appears in front of the enemy, then does an unblockable attack. On hit, it causes a wall bounce, but if hit on a blocking opponent, it just breaks their guard and leaves them open for a few frames, which can be followed up with a super move if you're fast enough, or just another attack if you're close. The animation is slow enough that it gives you enough time to plan your next attack before he hits the enemy with the unblockable guard break. Ron will almost always appear in front of the enemy, then perform his attack. Regardless of where Zero is standing on the stage, Ron's point of appearance will most likely be in front of the enemy. On hit, the wall bounce will also lead to other juggle combos. His only downside is he has a very long animation to go through. You'll notice that Ron got nerfed in the 2002 Unlimited Match game. He does not have the wall bounce on hit anymore. It's just a knockdown. The inputs were then changed to down, back, and C button, or fierce punch. In the 2001 game, the 3 strikers are shown at the bottom part of the screen. Now, in the 2002 Unlimited Match game, their icons are not shown, as they are now considered special moves. You'll also notice his super meter is invisible in the 2001 game. He still builds meter, but you just can't see it. In the updated 2002 Unlimited Match game, his super meter is on screen, and his portrait was updated in the newer game. Here is another nerf that Zero got in the 2002 Unlimited Match game. Zero is limited to only calling out one striker on screen at one time. He cannot call in another one until the previous animation is completed and off the screen. This is very different to his 2001 version, where he could call in all 3 strikers on screen at once. Each striker had its own use, but it was fun calling all of them on screen almost at the same time. All 3 strikers can be hit out of their attack animations to prevent them from hitting you, but this could leave you open to be hit by Zero. At the right range, Zero could call in a striker, then hit you as you're trying to hit his striker, so be careful. When Zero summons these strikers, his animation is turning his back to you, and it appears like he has some invincible frames during the animation. This was later changed in the 2002 Unlimited Match game, where Zero could be hit during this animation of summoning strikers, where he turns his back towards you as the striker comes in. He could now be hit during that time, so you had to be much more careful upon using these strikers up close. He's only got 2 special moves, and each one has a different attribute to how they should be used. You have down, forward, and weak punch for a short range attack. Upon block, this one gets punished much easier since it has less pushback on block. This move has good damage on hit and on block for chip damage, so even outside of a combo, you'll be taking life off the enemy pretty quickly. This one could also reflect projectiles and even super fireballs, but some fireballs can be fast or slow, so you'll have to time it correctly or you'll get hit. And then we have the Fierce Punch version for some more reach. It also has some good damage for a single move, but it pushes you back a bit further on block, so it's harder to punish. This one is better used after a Fierce Punch for a simple combo with great damage. His damage was reduced across everything in the 2002 Unlimited Match version. They were trying to make him more balanced in some way, so his specials and supers do less damage now. To make up for this, they made it so you could cancel his special moves into a super move, but only the punch super move is worth using, as the other one tends to miss. This new feature gives him a way to get some more damage by using Super Meter in an easier way. You can try to use Fierce Punch, followed up by the far-reaching special move, then into a super, but it might miss from the pushback the special move has. The other special move is the Uppercut. The inputs are forward, down, down forward, and punch. This is the weak punch version. It goes forward while getting less height, and in a combo, it does huge damage. It's like 40% for something so simple. The Fierce Punch version gets more height going up, but less range going forward. In a combo, it still gets big damage, but just a tiny bit less than the weak punch version. Since this one goes up a bit more, it could be better to use as an anti-air. His first super move is down, forward, and punch. Both the weak and Fierce Punch version seem to function the same. This one does huge damage on hit, and even if they block it, it does crazy chip damage. The other super move is the Black Hole. The inputs are down, forward, and kick. This one is great to use as a juggle or as a full screen attack. It gets more hits if you're up close. Both supers are level 1 versions, and they're so good that he doesn't really need a level 2 in this game. This character was more balanced in the 2002 Unlimited Match version. Using a striker up close was very risky. He lost his big damage and got some nerfs to his strikers. You can still juggle a bit, but not like he could in the 2001 game. So let me show you some juggles he could do in the 2001 game. He could use the Black Hole super, and as it finished, he could juggle with the other super. The timing is tough to get, but it was possible. His Black Hole super seems to recover a bit faster in the original 2001 game, which is why he can juggle after it much easier than he could in the 2002 Unlimited Match version. The Lion Striker would knock the enemy into the air on hit, giving you a chance to juggle. The distance also played a crucial role, which limited your options, but it was something you could do in the 2001 version. It appears like Zero has invincible frames during this animation of summoning a striker, so it was safer to use in this version. Even up close sometimes, it seems okay. The corner gave him more chances to get even more hits. This combo could be done with all 3 strikers. As long as one of them hit, Zero would have a chance to cause more damage with more juggles, combining 2 supers into a massive combo with big damage. But it's mostly used in the corner. Even the striker Ron could lead up to this combo, he causes a wall bounce on hit, unless he spawns in a bad location to push the enemy away, but it was still possible with Ron also. If the opponent blocks Ron's attack, there is no wall bounce, but it will break his guard, leaving him open for a few frames. If you plan to use this setup at close range, just use the punch super, as it guarantees a lot of damage. But the hardest combo I found was getting all three strikers to hit in a combo and juggling with two different super moves. Extremely difficult, a lot of damage, but it looks really cool. This combo relies on perfect positioning, strict timing, and all three strikers hitting at certain points, and still getting two supers to juggle at the end. If something is off even by a few frames, you might drop the combo for some reason. Even if you do the entire combo, you might miss a few hits near the end, which is why this combo only got me 34 hits, and another attempt got me 37 hits. Either way, it is still the hardest Zero combo I've ever tried. In the 2002 Unlimited Match game, he could still do juggle combos, but they were more risky, did less damage than before, and not as easy as the 2001 version. They did give him a level 2 Black Hole Super. It just does a few more hits and a bit more damage, but could be used as a juggle. They also gave him a hidden Super Desperation attack when his health was red. It's okay, but not as cool as his crazy juggle combos in 2001. Alright, so I think we're done now. Those are the changes I wanted to compare between the two versions of Original Zero. A pretty cool boss in the King of Fighters video games, and also my favorite in the franchise. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it. That would help a lot. And subscribe to see more content like this in the future. Now I want to ask you, who is your favorite character in the King of Fighters? Tell me in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Waga ken no shin no chikara o miyo. Chi ga tagiru wa ware koso ken o kiwame shin mono. Kakugo wa yoi ka? Shin no chikara misete miyo.